Hello everybody. Today we will be learning how to use VBA, Visual Basic Applications, with Excel, in particular in the setting of trying to construct the efficient frontier, also known as the Markowitz bullet. We realize that it's a repetitive task which takes quite a long time to one by one apply solver repeatedly. So instead what we will do is we will write code basically. Well, which is really Excel is going to write the code. What we will do is we will show the repetitive task to Excel, and then Excel should take care of the rest pretty easily. So first things first, so let's make sure that you guys have that developer tab here so that you can start recording the macro. So how do we do that? So you just click on File, and down below you see Options. Click on Options, and under Customize ribbon, make sure the developer tab is selected here. All right, so that will enable you to see that developer tab up there. All right, so press OK. I already have it here, so I have no concern. Next is we're going to start recording a macro, but before doing that, let's just prepare the groundwork. So we worked on this example earlier. We constructed the annual return and the standard deviation for these securities. Next, what we will do is we also have the variance covariance matrix. So what we will do is let's go ahead and start constructing these portfolios. We want to construct portfolios such that we can obtain that frontier. So we will have different weights. Let's just call them 1, 2, 3. I think it's the easier way. So rather than so suppose that we will do a repetitive task like 24 times. All right. So these are the weights of individual assets. Control C. We want to, oops, I copied into the wrong part. There you go. We want to make sure their sum adds up to 1, right? So this is the sum of, oops, how did I do that? Sum of the following entries. There you go. And finally, we want to, and right now it's 0, and we want to make sure it's all the way down below. Next is the portfolio return, and the portfolio standard deviation. There you go. All right, so the portfolio return formula, if you guys all remember, I hope, it will be the product of the weights, well, matrix multiplication. I don't want to forget that. In an earlier video, I forgot that, as you guys remember, times the transpose of the return. So transpose of the return, close parenthesis again, and then Control Shift Enter. There you go. So what we can do is we can just go ahead and oh, sorry. Before we do that, I totally forgot to anchor the content, so let's do it again. We want to make sure that L3 to N3, that would be the returns are fixed. So press F4 there. There you go. So you see dollar signs. Let me press Control Shift Enter. There you go. And now we can go ahead and drag this all the way down below. There you go. Awesome. So next is the standard deviation, which is pretty much the same thing. I don't want to forget, oops, not search, square root, I should say, square root of, okay, so here we go. Matrix multiplication of this, comma, a new matrix multiplication for the variance covariance matrix, and that one should be fixed. And the transpose, we've done this many times now, the transpose of the weight matrix, again, this one. All right, this one shouldn't be fixed, so we close the first parenthesis, second parenthesis, and third parenthesis, and fourth parenthesis. I think all the parentheses are closed, and then press Control Shift Enter again. Awesome. And then double click. Yes. Great. So next, what we will do is, like we said, we have this repetitive task ahead of us. So we want to repeatedly apply the task of the solver. In order to accomplish that, I will just go ahead and create. Actually, you know what? Let me just do it over here on the spot. So I'll just go ahead and add a new row. That will be probably arguably the easiest way to handle it. So insert a new row, and so this is our calculation row, calculation. All right, so let me just go ahead and highlight it in yellow. There you go. And so all of my calculations will take place here. but it will hopefully be significantly easier than otherwise. And then here we have the target ratio. So looking at the returns, returns are as low as 1% or 2%, all the way up to 40%. So what I can do is I can start as low as 1%, I guess, and go all the way up to 40%. And I can go up by 2% each time, for instance. I think that's reasonable. So 1% is, so this is my target return. So target 3% and so on. Actually, because we are going to do a repetitive task anyway, why don't we just do it like this? And if necessary, I want to go all the way to 40%. So I think I need a couple of additional rows. There you go. So what I can next do is I can take that and extend it all the way down below. All right, so it works. Well, it doesn't. Somehow it messed up here. So let me continue carefully here. 25%. So we want to redo this thing. There you go. Let me make sure these cells are correct. Yeah, they seem correct. And then this one is, yeah, it seems correct as well. Perfect. Now we are ready. Oh, so we want to make sure we copy these cells up above as well. Yeah, it seems going on fine. And let's just go ahead and highlight them again. Highlighted, perfect. So the target, let me just go ahead and move it up. Oh, and then this formula should also be copied it up as well. So this is row 17. Let me make sure these are row 17. Yes. And then this one should be row 17 as well. Yes, it is. All right. So what I will do next is the following. I'm going to construct this macro. Let me first play with it a little bit before I start the construction. So and let me just double check the content of solver. So solver right now is empty, but when I start recording, I will reset it regardless. So it's actually, do I need to reset? No. Yeah, before I record, let me just go ahead and do the following. Let me just do an exercise that I want to make sure that it works. Close. So let's make a target, say, for instance, 10%. Let's see if it works with 10%. So I come to here to the standard deviation. We go to data ribbon, solver. There you go. So we want to minimize the content of this cell. So minimize it by changing these weights. And I want to add the following constraints. Well, one of the constraints is I want this number to be equal to 1, the sum to be equal to 1, press OK. And secondly, I want the content of, add another constraint, I want the content of this one being equal to that one being equal to the number next to it. All right, there you go. And then press OK. And press another OK. Oh, and then I'm allowing for short sales. So uncheck that and then press solve. Okay, all right. I have another Excel file open, so let me just go ahead and close that other Excel file because it's creating some trouble here for me. Save. Yes. All right. Yeah, I think it worked. All right, so next is, okay, I think I'm ready to record the macro. So I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, and then, before I do that, let me just make sure these are all in percentages. So we agree in terms of the units, percents, there you go. And maybe 2 more decimal places of accuracy, there you go. All right, so what we will do next is the following. We will just carry these weights into the, for instance, once we calculate it for 10%, all I will do is I will just carry this Control C and I will put it right here. You guys see next to that 10%, press enter. The moment I enter this, it will automatically update these two with the same content as this one because there's a formula underneath. I don't have to do it again. All right, so next is the following. I will keep updating. Each time I will copy paste the new entry that I want something computed, Control C, enter, and I redo the same calculation basically. But in order to do that, let's do it. So we start here. I want to make sure that each time my cursor is pointing right here. So start the developer tab. It will be I will directly record the macro. It's going to ask me the number. All right, and it's going to ask me a short key. I'm going to press, say, Shift U, for instance. Okay, so Control Shift U will be the short key. Right now it's recording. Do you see it says stop recording here? So with any movement that I make, it will be recorded. So I go to Developer tab. Sorry, not Developer, Data tab, I should say. Go to Solver, and now in Solver there's already the previous work that I did. It's perfectly fine. Everything there is fine, to be honest. We do exactly the same thing. So I'll just say solve again, because I just changed the content of this cell here, right? Everything is the 17th row. Yeah, it seems correct. So press solve and keep the solution. All right, so yeah, it's 1%. These two numbers should match. All right, so now that I have the new weights, I'm just, oh, actually, that's it. I don't want to do anything else. I'm going to do the copy paste later. So just keep the cursor right at that point, and now go back to Developer tab, and then stop the recording. All right, so that's it. So hopefully things should have worked. Let me save the progress so far. All right, let me see if I can make it work again. Because this thing worked, so I can just copy this one, Control C. This one is done. Next, we want to do it for 2%. You guys see that? So 2%, enter. All right, so my cursor is right here, and let's do it. So I go to Developer. Oh, so I don't have to do anything. All I did is, because the short key was Control Shift U, let me try if it works. As soon as I say Control Shift U, all right, it gave me an error. What is the error? Sub or function not defined. Why not? I think, all right, so let me just close this. I don't want to see the code. Code is intimidating for a lot of people. Okay. So what I will do is, I think I needed to do one change. I forgot to do that change. And it was to make sure under Visual Basic, you don't have to know Visual Basic. All you need is under Tools and References, make sure Solver is checked. Yeah, I totally forgot to check Solver here. My apologies. So make sure Solver is checked over there. So all right, press OK. Let me close this and show again where I found that page. So under Developer, Visual Basic, and Tools, and then References. Yeah, that's it. So Solver should be checked. All right, perfect. I think this time it should work this time. Okay, let's do the recording one more time. Developer tab, record a new macro, macro 9, fine. Let me call it Control Shift K. All right, that's my new Control Shift K is my new shortcut. All right, now we are recording effectively. All I'm going to do is go to Solver again, data. Everything is all ready. The whole cells, everything is correct. All I did, because I already updated the content here, all I will say is solve. I hope, yes. Let's hope that it works this time. Press OK. All right, so it's solved. Now I can go ahead, and the cell is still pointing here. I shouldn't change that. Go to Developer and stop the recording. All right. Let's see if it works. Before I check that, let me just go ahead and copy paste this one or down below. Control C. That was next to 2%. So we solved that one too. Yes, so this is the same as that one. All right, next, my cursor is right here, and I press Control. My new shortcut key was Control Shift K. I'm doing experimentation, I guess. Okay, this time hopefully it should work. Oh, before I go, now we are in this one, right? So far we already completed these two. So those two, we've taken care of those. So Control C, or Control X maybe is better. Control X, enter. So next we are taking care of the 3 here. So I will go down here inside again, and then press Control Shift K was my shortcuts. Oh, let's see if it works. No. All right, so where did it mess up? So let's go check the data ribbon. Okay, I think Solver messed up. Yeah, it's showing this error message. So somehow it couldn't identify the yeah, so R17 technically was supposed to be equal to Q17. Somehow it disrupted, the program disrupted right here. I don't know why. So let me change this. Why did it disrupt? It wasn't supposed to change at all. So it was supposed to be just this thing. Yeah, so maybe if I write it like this, it will be correct. Okay. Yeah, so Q17, solve. Yeah, technically it was supposed to show me this answer, 3%, 3%. These two numbers were supposed to match. So let me write a new macro. We need to keep trying testing new macro. Before I write this new macro, Control C. You might say, wait a second, we almost finished. Well, yeah, there's quite a few more rows. Once the macro works, we will repeatedly do the task and it will be extremely simple. Okay, so we are done with 3%. So let's Control C. Oh, sorry, Control X, we said, right? Control X. Paste it here. Okay, so we are in this row. So let's try to make this work. All right, I will record one more macro. Developer tab. Record the macro. All right, a new macro, macro 10. Let me call it Control Shift M. Shift M would be sufficient for that. Press OK, and the recording began. So what I will do next is go to data ribbon, solver. All right, so it's giving me the same error message. Apparently, each time we use Okay, so let me go inside. It's gonna do the same procedure anyway, so it's a good thing probably. Okay, let's just have this number as our new constraint. Press OK, and yeah, we're in good shape now. Press solve. All right, did it solve? Yes. Now the content of the cell is right at the point where it should be. Go back to developer tab and stop the recording. Okay, let's pray that it works this time. Before I erase the thing, let me just go ahead and take that control actually I can even do Control X because each time it's confusing me. There you go. So we so he doesn't like Control X. Control Z. All right, Control C. Oops, not that, this one. Control C. Enter. All right, there you go. So next is this one, right? Control X, and then carry. Maybe Control X is the one that's causing the problem. Okay, anyhow, press Enter and go to right. We should be right at that point. And now let's press Control Shift. I think I called it M. Let's cross our finger again. Hopefully this time it should work. Okay. Yes, finally. Finally. Oh, thanks God. All right. Now that will significantly reduce the work. Yes. So what we will do from now on is very straightforward. All I will do is carry these numbers, Control C. Somehow Control X is not giving a good result. All right. Next number is this one, Control X. Just carry it here and then press, as soon as your cursor is here, press Control Shift M. Well, in my case, I don't know what's your shortcut. As soon as these two numbers match, yes, they do. All right, perfect. All we do is carry these three numbers, Control C, copy them here, and go to the next one. Do you guys see how fast it is? And we don't have to go inside solver to solve the problem. Everything is taken care of. So I will repeatedly do this task. Okay, let me just finish this. Control C or Control X, it doesn't matter anymore. Press Enter, go to that cell over here and then press Control Shift M because there's a code behind it. It already does the dirty work. And then I carry this, Control C, move it down. Do you guys see that? It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed Control X. Do you guys see how one by one we are clearing all the rows? Wait a second, you might say, is there an even easier way to take care of it? Yes, the answer is a decided yes. But for that, what you need is go to Developer tab and you need to write your own code, Visual Basic. So if you've never written a code, it will be challenging because even though the codes that we have so far, it's all taken care of because we recorded the code, but writing it will require a new skill for you all. All right, which is if you take down the road data analytics in finance, that's what we show to our students. I think if you're a finance major, if you are a business analytics major, it will be data analytics in Python. You learn how to write those codes in Python. All right, so we do it for the 8th row. Wait, did I do it or? No, I didn't. This was the previous one. All right, so bring my cursor here and then just press Control Shift M. In my case, my shortcut is M. And there you go. These two match. All I do is just carry this. Control C. press enter. That one is taken care of. Next one is this one, Control X. Oops. Enter. Bring the cursor and then press Control Shift M. It's not that bad. Once we did the dirty work, the part which was kind of challenging was to write that macro. We already did that 10th row, so I can skip that one. I can delete that. So 11th row, Control X, press enter. Awesome. So now let's see if we can match these. So bring the cursor here, Control Shift. My shortcut is M, Control Shift M. Press OK. Yes, the two numbers match. I can carry this over here, Control C. Remember earlier, it took me well in 20 minutes to do repeated solver. This one is way easier, I can tell you. If you did watch my earlier video, when we used solver repeatedly, it was torture, to be honest. All right, so Control X. This one is still, there are some repetitive work, but it is significantly easier than others. In fact, I'm right now talking and then taking care of things at the same time. Oops, Control C. Enter. Next, go to that one, Control X. I'm feeling very good now. So yeah, Control Shift M. Solver works smoothly, no interruption, so it's pretty good deal. So next we copy these, Control C, press enter. The one thing that concerns me right now is that standard deviation keeps falling up. Ultimately, it should keep rising. If it doesn't rise, it means there's a problem in the code. So I want to make sure it does work the way it should. All right, so where was I? Yeah, this one. So we did the 13, so we need 14 now. Control X. Press enter. Bring the cursor here. Control Shift M. Yeah, it's a repetitive task, but yeah, and then just carry Control C. Carry these cells. Enter. Next one. Control X. It's very straightforward, it seems. Go here. Control Shift M. Awesome. Carry these. Control C. There you go. Next one, Control X. After a while, it seems very doable. I mean, like, it's repetitive, but regardless, it works. Yeah. So Control X. But by now, you are realizing, wait, even this thing is very repetitive. Line by line, it takes me quite. Oops. Where did I mess up here? It gave an error. Let's see if I. Oh, because I Control X did Control Z. I was supposed to say Control C, right? Not Control X. Somehow it gives me an error whenever I say Control C. I'm sure there's something that I need to take care of that. Yeah. All right. So next one, Control X. Press Enter. Control Shift M. Okay. The 17s match perfect. Carry the weights down below. Control C. Enter. Control X. Doing pretty good. And you can fast forward the video at this point if it's already pretty boring for some of you, I guess, right? So it must be. I can't say I'm taking pleasure, but at least I feel like a little bit more relieved compared to the previous work that I did. This one is better, I think. Control X, press Enter, Control Shift M. All right, carry the weights, Control C, Enter. Come down, Control X, go up, carry it, Control Shift M. And after doing a job repetitively, it seems like my fingers are like way faster. Now, Enter, bring here, Control X, go up, Enter, Control Shift M. It's probably even annoying for some of you. Wow, it's about to take a turn right here, so it's good. So because ultimately it should start increasing. So it kept falling. I think it's about to make a turn right here, so which is good. Control C, Enter. I want to see that turn, and then we can just call it. We can end the computations. Control Shift M. Enter. The 22s match. Perfect. Control C. Down below. Enter. Ah, so close. Okay, almost there. Control X. Enter. Control Shift M. The 23s match. Control C, down, enter. Control X, up, enter. Control Shift M. The 24s match. Carry the weights down below, enter. Ah, Look at that. It's almost taking a turn. All right, pretty good. I'm very happy with what's going on so far. Maybe I should have made these returns a little bit like there's a higher gap because, yeah. The reason that this change is so slow is because these returns are extremely close to each other and the standard deviations as well. Obviously, Apple stock is the most successful one here. In terms of risk, it has lower risk. In terms of return, it has significantly higher return than the others. So as a result, most likely the portfolios will be dominated by Apple stocks over time. Especially, look at that. It already started dominating, especially if you want a return above 20%. A significant half of your portfolio should be invested in Apple stocks, basically. All right, so we did the 24, so we need the 25. Control X, go up, press Enter, Control Shift M, Enter, and copy this, Enter. Yes, it took the turn. Do you guys see that? So the rest you can continue on your own. So pretty much once this is done, like we did in our previous video, you guys can construct the Markowitz bullet, the efficient frontier, pretty easily using these two columns and plotting like we did earlier. A scatter plot, not this one, sorry, not a line plot, but a scatter plot rather. A standard scatter plot will do it. All right, so let me just stop here. Hope that was useful in terms of using the developer tool and then recording a macro, which is basically a Visual Basic code, but you don't see it because Excel does it on your behalf, so it's a pretty good deal. And looking forward to see you guys in our next lecture.